Hey guys, Dave here from Cooking Chair. Well, I don't know about your neck of the woods, but we got about a foot of snow on the ground, and it's February, and the February blues supposed to be January, but it's February. Anyway, I'm in the mood for some chicken, but not just any old chicken, some chicken stew with some nice cream, and oh, it is going to be so good, and some veggies. So let's make some up, and you're going to love it. So first off the old batteroonie, let's begin with our ingredients, and we have some skin-off chicken thighs, some oil, some cream, potato, celery, carrots, and some corn on the cob, some garlic, onion, paprika, thyme, Italian seasoning, and of course, salt and pepper. Okie dokie, the first thing we're going to do is throw some oil into a pan, and this is over medium-high heat. Then we'll go ahead and throw those chicken thighs in. Don't want to overcrowd the pan too much here, so we'll get some space between them. Now what we're going to do is fry these up for about 3 or 4 minutes on each side, just until we get a good coat started. You don't have to use chicken thighs. You can use chicken breasts. You can use, even rotisserie chicken if you don't want to go through this, but I'm going to use the thighs. They got a little more flavor. And maybe, some people want to use a Dutch oven, but I'm going to use the pan simply because when you're filming, you can't really see what's going on. So, if you want to use the Dutch oven or a large pot, that's entirely up to you. While that chicken is frying up, I'm going to grab up a couple of ribs of celery here. We're just going to chop this up. And go ahead and we'll cube up a carrot here. Then I'll grab up that corn and I'm just going to slice those kernels off, just something like that. Now, guys, the corn is kind of optional here, and you don't have to use the whole cob. You can use frozen corn or even peas. As a matter of fact, just use any veggie you want, but this is my preference. Then last but not least, we'll grab up that potato, and we're going to take that and just kind of cube it up. Gotta have our veggies. Okay, guys, back to the chicken here. Well, that's frying up. I'm going to season this up just with a little bit of salt and pepper. Could add salt and pepper later, but, we'll add a bit to the chicken now just to give it some flavor. Got a bit of a fry going on here, so I'm just going to give these guys a flip over. Little season on the other side, and we'll just let these fry up. Okay, guys, after a few minutes, we got a pretty good cook on that chicken. You might say, well, that chicken's not cooked yet. Well, it is going to simmer in that broth for about 25 minutes, so it will be cooked after it's simmering. And then actually we're going to shred it. We'll just set this aside here. Now in the same pan, which is smoking here, I'm going to go back in with a little bit of oil, a little more oil, I should say. Then I'm going to add in half a chopped onion and 3 cloves of garlic. Gotta have my garlic. And we'll just stir and saute this for a couple of minutes until that incredibly wonderful aroma of an onion and garlic fill the air. I guess something else you could have done here, guys, to make things really yummy is added a bit of butter in here, but I'm going to stick with the oil for now. Now that wonderful aromas fill the air, I'm going to go in with those veggies, starting with the carrots and celery, that fresh corn and the potatoes. Oh, so yummy. Give this a good old quick stir-a-rooney here. And we'll season things up with some of the old saltation. I guess about a teaspoon, depending on how salty you want it. My all-time favorite, some ground black pepper. Now I could add maybe a teaspoon and a half, something like that. But, it's up to you to adjust it accordingly. And, of course, you know me, a couple of teaspoons of the old Italian or Italiano seasoning. And I say this in every video because it's got just about everything in it you can imagine. It's just a perfect seasoning. Then about a teaspoon or half a teaspoon, whatever you like, of thyme. You have chicken without thyme. And a good teaspoon of the old smoked paprika. Once again, stirring we will go until that seasoning coats everything here. Oh, man, this is smelling good. I wish you were here, guys. Okay, I've let this fry up for about 4 minutes or so here until things begin to tenderize. Now I'm going to go in with 3 cups of chicken broth. Now I've got 4 here, but I'm gonna start with 3 because I don't want it too soupy. And now what I'm gonna do is return that chicken to the pan here. And we'll bring this to a nice soft boil. Okay, as you can see here, guys, got a nice soft boil going on here. So I'm going to set the timer and we're going to let this boil away for about 25 minutes. And I'm going to flip that chicken occasionally. Well, you might be asking, well, why did you make 4 cups of chicken stock and only use 3? Well, if it gets a little too dry, I'm going to add a little more. So I like to have a little extra on hand just in case. But we'll see. Okay, guys, while our stew is simmering away, we're going to make up our dumplings because you gotta have dumplings. So for this, we're going to need some thyme, some melted butter, some baking powder, salt, a cup and a half of all-purpose flour, and some milk. So first off, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of milk, and this is just 2% milk, to my cup and a half of flour, 2 tablespoons of the old melted unsalted butter, and we're going to throw in a dash of salt, just about half a teaspoon, another half teaspoon of thyme. I know we already added thyme to the chicken, but I'm going to add a little bit more. And then a tablespoon of the good old baking powder. Grab up the old whisk and we'll mix everything together. Now, we don't want to overmix this, just to the point where everything is mixed together. There's no raw flour showing. I guess I said raw flour. I mean just flour is showing, or just obvious flour. There, something like that. It's pretty good. Alrighty then, we've been simmering away here for about 25 minutes and it is looking and smelling good. So what I'm going to do is pull that yard bird out, or that chicken out, and we're going to set this aside on a plate. And here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to grab up a couple of forks and I'm just going to shred this up. Oh, this is done so nicely too. Now, guys, you really don't have to shred this. I mean, you could have left the thighs in whole, but I just like the process of shredding. It just makes the chicken a little more edible, eatable, whatever it is. Okie dokie, I'm going to go ahead and throw that chicken back in. And of course, we'll give everything a bit of a stir around here. Then we are going to go in with a cup of table cream, just to make it nice and creamy. Give everything a stir once again. And then we'll just bring this to a nice simmer. Now I'm going to grab up some of that dumpling mixture, put it in the hand. My hand is kind of form it into a ball, and we'll just plop this in. And I'll just give this a kind of a quick stir around here. Cover those dumplings. And I'll just cover this and let it simmer away for a few minutes until those dumplings cook. All right, guys, after about 10 or 15 minutes, I think our dumplings are done. So I'm going to kill the heat, pull the lid off, and just look at this. Ooh. So it is time to pull our stew out. Oh, just look at this. And we're going to put it into a bowl. Got some giant dumplings happening here, which is good. Now, of course, we're going to garnish this up with some greenery, some fresh parsley, something like that. Chicken stew at its best. And there you have it, my friends, our rustic barnyard chicken stew. Great for a cold day, great for any day for that matter, and everybody, I mean everybody, is going to love it. All right, my friends, let's grab some of this up. I'm going to get a little bit of that dumpling and make sure I get some chicken and some veggies on here and the whole shebang. Is this ever looking good? Look at that, the veggies, the chicken, the dumplings, everything you'd ever want. Life doesn't get any better. All right, before I dig in and taste here, just a couple of tips. You can, like I said, you can use rotisserie chicken. You don't even have to use chicken, but it is, I guess, Rustic Barnyard Chicken Stew, so you pretty much have to use chicken. If you want a lighter version, you can leave the cream out, or use something else. Now, I would reduce the time on the cooking of the veggies. I said 25 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes. They're not They don't have quite the crunch and the crisp that I like, but it's entirely up to you. But other than that, this is good, keeps for a couple of days, and like I say, everybody is gonna love it, so let's dig in and give it a taste. Down the old hatch. Mm, this is so good, guys. It's comfort food at its best. I mean, the chicken is done really well. I love those dumplings. Like I said, the veggies could use a little more of a crunch, but they are so good. I love the sauce, the creaminess, the richness of it. You are going to love this. I would encourage you to make it up. And if you do make it up, leave us a comment because I love to read them. Give us a like, it helps the channel out. And most of all, subscribe. Why not? It's free. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe. I'm going to have more, and we'll see you in the next video.